Hello, and welcome to this edition of Office Hours with Lanora. Woo! We made it. It is January 2020. I don't know, how many of you ever thought about the year 2020 actually coming and being a part of that year? But we all made it, and we're here, and this episode of Office Hours with Lanora, it is where we're going and how I can definitely help you get there. So I am still in the office right now. You'll see some students behind me because they're on a break. Don't let that be a distraction. Hopefully it encourages you to make that next step or to take that leap like I did. Last year, over the course of the 2019 calendar year and the past 12 months, we talked about several subjects during that first year. We talked about the steps to becoming licensed as a leasing agent, to becoming licensed as a real estate broker. We talked about the passion that I talked so much about. We also talked about the requirements for continuing education. Some of you may recall that the Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulations, which is the body that regulates the real estate industry, did some changes and made some changes to requirements and licensing types and that sort of thing, and regulations related towards the schools. So we've gone over all of that and other areas that we talked about. Remember when we discussed the budget? Oh my goodness, that's one of my most reviewed videos because it was very important to you to know, hey, how much is all this gonna cost me? What is it gonna take for me to get started in this business? And we're gonna have more of that and those subjects in this calendar year, but we'll add a little spin to it so that you know, hey, this is something else that you might want to consider. Remember last year also we talked about the what ifs, like what if you don't successfully pass the exam on the first, second, third, or fourth attempt? It's okay. Remember I told you, you're never a failure. If anything, not passing on that first, second, third, or fourth attempt should teach you is to keep persevering. So I know that you have it in you. I've talked to a lot of you. I know that give up spirit is not out there. And if it is, and if I find it, we're going to get rid of it, okay? So I bet you're wondering what would be the areas that we will be talking about in 2020. That's so amazing to say. 2020. Woo. So today, we're definitely just kind of recapping, reviewing, like I said, happy anniversary to the series. But I wanted to leave you with a nugget, and we'll talk about a special scholarship that's been new and improved from last year, which is our broker scholarship. So we'll talk a little more about that in a minute. But some of the areas and subjects and topics that we'll cover going forward throughout this year will include February. You definitely want to be around for that. February 5th, we're going to talk about some additional licensing law changes that occurred as of August of last year. And that being 18-year-olds can now earn a real estate broker's license. Did I say 18? It changed from 21 to now 18 years of age. That's important because think about I'm talking to my parents now as a parent. What if your child is not ready to transition to college? Maybe they're on one of those gap years and they want to do some work pertaining to an industry that they might be interested in. What better way to earn an income than to consider a real estate license for someone fresh out of high school? It is an opportunity for you as a parent, as an aunt, as an uncle, as a friend, whomever, to help that person transition into a professional setting and earn a license all at the same time. So that's one of the recent changes. Another thing that we're going to talk about is the value of mentorship. I get so many people that want to know, hey, Laura, how do I find a mentor? How do I do this? How do I do that? Who's going to help me, become successful in this real estate industry? We'll talk more about that because I have some opinions of my own, but I definitely want to address steps that you could do to help you find that mentor. We'll talk more about, again, the budget. I have some special guests that are going to be coming in to meet with us. One of them being Miss Monet Redmond, who is the manager of our membership department here. And she's our go-to person when we're talking about transitioning from the student to have earned the license and now becoming a member of the Chicago Association of Realtors. So what do those fees look like? What does it mean to be a member of a board, to have MLS access? What are those fees related to those various items? We'll talk more about that with Ms. Monet Redmond. Also, I've heard from you, and it's important because not everyone wants to go into the industry and represent the residential side. So I've heard so many people say, what about if I wanted to do commercial only? Or I wanted to add commercial as a part of me representing residential buyers, sellers, anyone seeking to lease. We'll have Mr. Jacob Knapp, who is our, I can't forget Jacob's title, but he's our guru, our director of commercial services here at the Chicago Association of Realtors. So he'll be coming to us and speaking about becoming a commercial real estate broker 101. So you'll learn more about that too. We're also going to talk about, can you do this? Meaning leasing agent, broker on a part-time basis, or is this something that I'm looking more towards full-time? I'll tell you my personal journey. I had a full-time job when I started in real estate and when I earned my license. It was never my intent to do real estate full-time. It actually turned into a position that I did for almost 10 years on a full-time basis, which afforded me the ability to be present at things, events or concerts or school programs for my children, and to be able to represent buyers, sellers, those seeking a lease during the day, in the evenings, weekends. I had an opportunity to do all of that. What if that's not what you're looking for? What if you're looking just to do this on a part-time basis? And you only want to do it on a part-time basis because you have a good job and you don't want to leave it. You just want to supplement your income. We'll talk about that. The last and final thing of the many things that we'll talk about that we'll address today, we're going to talk about, what does your first 18 months in the business look like? It is my personal mission in 2020 to help each and every one of you learn that I'm not here just for you to go to school, just for you to earn a license and then I forget about you. Absolutely not. I want to make sure that you stay in this industry that I love so much. I want to make sure that you know what could be roadblocks that could prevent you from being successful and ultimately jeopardize your license. And we will together try to avoid those. Let's talk about that scholarship that I told you about. So the name of the scholarship is the Road. On our website, it's going to say the Pre-Licensing Roadmap to Realtor Scholarship. Pre-Licensing Roadmap to Realtor Scholarship. That is the scholarship for anyone seeking to earn a real estate license and they're making their first steps. They're taking a course. The scholarship specifically is for any applicant that is planning to take a classroom version of this course or a self-study version of this course. It is not intended for our online students. But again, it is for classroom or self-study. The value of the scholarship is $700. And if you look at our website, you'll know, because we talked about this last year, just to use the numbers, for a classroom version of this course, 90 hours, your first 75 hours would be $579. And then your last 15 hours, which is mandatory by the state, would be $125. So that's $704 for the classroom version of this course. The self-study version would be $625. So if you spent, in my example there, $704, but you became a recipient of the Roadmap to Realtor Scholarship, after completing the next few steps that we'll discuss, you paid yourself $700 back. So the course in essence only cost you $4. Do that. 704 minus 700 for the reimbursement of the scholarship, $4. Where can you earn a license for $4? Because you did all of the steps. So I encourage each and every one of you, apply for this scholarship. Now I'll tell you the truth. My big mouth, as of last year, almost a year ago, February of 2019, we gave away so many scholarships, it depleted the budget for the entire year. So the criteria has changed. Some of those things that you can expect to see as a part of the criteria now, of course, there's the application component. We'll ask as a part of a business plan. There's going to be some additional questions that have been added. We want to know a lot more about your goals. What is it going to take for you to earn this license, stay in the business, and continue to represent as many people as you can in this industry? So some of those questions you can expect to see as a part of that business plan would be, what will be your specialty? Do you plan to represent residential customers and clients only, commercial customers and clients only, or what's going to be your genre when you join as a real estate professional? We're also wanting to know how are you going to market your business? How do you plan to get the universe to know that you are now a licensed real estate professional? Do you plan to do Facebook Live videos like this one? Do you plan to have your own website? Are you seeking to Instagram and those sorts of avenues to be able to explain who you are and why you have this love for real estate and want to help these people? We'll talk about the metrics and how you plan to measure what success looks like for you. Are there a certain number of clients that you'd like to represent? Do you want to have a certain dollar amount earned by the end of the year? What about the number of transactions and the volume of those transactions? What are your goals? The final pieces that we'll look at are the 2 letters of recommendations that you'll have to attach to your scholarship application. The first letter of recommendation should come from anyone you may know who is a business professional, not meaning that they have to be a professional in the real estate industry. We can talk and speak to a former manager, maybe a CEO, a vice president, your pastor if you volunteer or work for like your church, those individuals that may know and can speak to your character. The second recommendation letter will come from a member of the Chicago Association of Realtors, in good standings, of course, that has been in the business for at least 18 months. So you're saying to yourself, Lenora, I don't know anybody. So where am I going to find these people? One of the added benefits to this scholarship that we've changed from last year to this year is we've included a mentorship program. Ooh, didn't I tell you that we would help when it comes to learning more about the value of mentorship? So in conjunction of talking about that, we heard you. So we've added that mentorship program to our pool of recipients of the scholarships. The purpose of that mentorship program is to help you, the recipient of the scholarship and the newly licensed professional, learn again more about what it's going to take for you to be successful in this business. Building relationships, talking to those professionals who've already gone through what you're going or planning to go through. And they're going to find ways to help you so that we can stay on the straight and narrow and try to eliminate as many curves in this business that you'll come up against if you try to do this solo. Do you need a mentor in the real estate industry? You don't. But if you put your shoes on one at a time, you probably would stand up straighter versus trying to put them both on at the same time. So let a mentor help you stand up straight. Earn what you're supposed to earn in this business and represent people to the maximum benefit that you can. Okay? I think I've talked about pretty much everything related to the scholarship. So I want you to apply because there's some deadline dates. We just had one. So the next one for spring would be March 20th of this year. For the summer deadline, and that means you've turned in your applications, you've turned in your business plan, you'll need to upload a video, 60 to 90 seconds on why you want to become a realtor. I mean, people go on live for 20 minutes, like me. But the purpose of this video is though that you speak that thing so you know this is why I'm doing it. So on those days where it just really doesn't make sense to you, pop that video, listen to it again, and then you can kind of speak to being strong, being steadfast, getting it done, and why your purpose for being in this business. Don't give up. So deadline dates again. Spring, March 20th. Summer, June 26th. And the fall, August 28th. Now the foundation or scholarship foundation, they meet quarterly. So if you're sending in your application, I know a lot of you might send it in today and want to know when will it be presented. Those are the dates that we need your application and full submission back, including the uploading of the videos, so that as a package, we can present to the foundation why you might ultimately be a great candidate or recipient for that scholarship. Well, that's all I have for you on this live or Facebook live office hours series with Lanora. I'm gonna leave now because I told you it was my anniversary and I get to celebrate, and it's 12:30, so I get to eat cake. You enjoy the rest of your day. Remember, every month I'll be coming to you with added benefits and great series topics related to this office hours with Lanora. I thank you guys so very much for sharing the past year with me. I look forward to guiding you through this process and onward to bigger and better. So to 2020, to office hours with Lanora, to you. See you real soon. Bye-bye.